Hey everyone, today is day 3 of the Christmas Advent calendar, and I have another wild story for you. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after finding out only our side of the family were having to pay to attend? I just find it very weird to ask people for paying to be there. This is supposed to be the happiest day of your life and them being there to witness it, not a cash grab. Obligatory, this is a throwaway account clarification. I am very active in the D&D sub that I don't particularly want it to tie to this situation. So my younger sister Kate, 28 female, and her partner Chris, 29 male, are getting married in April in Dubai. Which is completely okay, but only if you can afford it. She has always wanted an extravagant wedding and is going all out on this. So the wedding is happening over 4 days. There's 70 guests, but they want us, me, my husband and my parents, to stay in the same hotel with them, along with her bridesmaids, which I am maid of honor and groomsmen. The hotel is pretty luxe, so with flight is costing us just over £2,900 each. Jesus Christ, £2,900 each? That's more than monthly salary for some people. See, I would never do a destination wedding because I just couldn't handle the burden to put on other people to travel there and stay there for days. Chris's family are also staying in the hotel, which includes his parents, 2 brothers, and his nephew. They are well off. I don't know exactly how much they earn combined, but I know Kate is on 88k and she is the lower earner. But about 6 months ago, Kristen came to us and asked to borrow 70k more. They stressed it would be a loan, paid over time, and they said the venue had increased the price. Dubai law was different, blah blah blah. They paid this money or they lost a lot. We believed them and I offered to loan 7k and my parents the other 10k. Well, that's very weird because I believe when you have a contract, they cannot just change prices one day to another. Even in Dubai, a contract is a contract. Well, of course, if they signed something that was a bad deal for them, things can happen. But that was not that they mentioned. So, long story short, I have since found out through someone else that the 70k wasn't for the venue, it was for Chris's family to fly over there. Okay, that is super messed up. Why do they have a budget for Chris's family? What about your family? And why are you and your parents are the one who pay for Chris's family? They saw how much it was going to be, didn't want to pay and refused to go. Yes, and this is the problem with destination weddings. I asked Kate and she confirmed, so my first question was if they were paying for his parents, why not pay for ours? I would never expect them to pay for me, even if we couldn't afford it. I would have wished them well and stayed at home. And her answer was, because they can afford it. She got very defensive and said this was the fairest way she could think of doing it. It's hard enough planning a wedding, etc. But when I asked if you genuinely thought this was the fairest way to do it, why did you lie about what the 70k was for and say it was a venue issue? She couldn't answer. Of course she couldn't, because she knows she's wrong. My parents are aware and are very disappointed they lied, but have said they're still attending, but I backed out. To me, it feels like my parents are being taken advantage. And if they couldn't afford to pay for both of our and Chris's parents and his brothers and nephew, then they shouldn't have just paid for the 4 parents or no one at all. And they especially shouldn't have lied about it. Okay, so I can understand that they really wanted Chris's parents to be there. Maybe they really couldn't afford it. Also, it makes a lot of sense that your parents want to see their daughter getting married. But I cannot blame for you for backing out either because they lied about it and manipulated the story. And that was the real problem. If they would have been honest the first place, probably everybody would have been more understanding. Kate and Chris keep calling and asking me to attend, saying I'm making them feel bad and ruining their day. But the whole thing just feels icky to me. I'm genuinely an open book, so be brutal. Am I being an a-hole here? Should I just suck it up and go? I don't think you're wrong at all, but I can see everybody's point of view. If I were you, I would go because you mentioned you are the maid of honor. Also, in the future, you might regret you wasn't a part of this. So, if not for them, I would go for myself. But if you want, I think that's also completely understandable and I wouldn't blame you. Not the a-hole, yet one of the many reasons I dislike destination weddings. They are the penultimate egocentric events. Wait a second, not only are they not paying for your parents, they are having your parents pay for his? That's like a double whammy. I don't know if you should go or not. Your choice will have a long-lasting impact on your relationship with your sister. Only you can decide if that is worth salvaging. And that's why this is a very tricky situation. I think if you won't show up for her wedding, which is a one-in-a-lifetime event, that's gonna leave a mark on your relationship forever. I'm not saying you should just let this situation go, but maybe you could come up with another way to have an impact on what just happened here. Of course, as the commenter said, this is completely your decision to make. Not the a-hole. They lied, they are treating his family differently, and you pay for it. You may regret not going. I think that's what it is right now. If you cannot do it for them, do it for yourself and just hang out with your parents. You guys can have a discussion about this when they are back from the honeymoon. OP has some edits, so we're gonna go through on this now. Edit. Crumbs, that's a lot of comments, haha. Thanks so much everyone. Just wanted to answer a couple of questions/comments that have come up a lot. The repayment. My husband's brother is a solicitor and he kindly drew up a contract and payment plan for both myself and my parents, so the money will be paid off within 12 months of the wedding. If they don't stick to this, I have access to a free solicitor, haha. I hope it wouldn't come to that, but that's why I have the papers for worst case scenario. That's really smart, so you can be sure that money will be paid off. Asking for the 7K back. I might be a soft touch, but asking for this back feels like a step too far. Like, I'm mad as hell, but not enough to actively try to ruin their wedding a few weeks before. Which it feels like, right now at least, is what that would be doing. But hey, give me a few more days to stew. Whatever you decide, it will be the right choice for you to make. As I said, I cannot blame you since they lied. So it's completely understandable that you're mad as hell. Edit 2. Thanks again for all the feedback, everyone. Just another quick FYI. A few people have asked about Chris's family or seems to have the impression they are well off. I'm obviously not privy to their financial situation, but what the limited amount I do know from what Katie has said, Chris and his family grew up very poor. Before all of this, I'd always thought Chris was a lovely guy, but I had caught him in the odd but harmless white lie. Things like where he went to school, the type of house he grew up in, etc. I get the impression he's embarrassed or resentful of his upbringing, given their lack of money. And this is how he now values his own self-worth, by his much money he has. Yeah, this is very clear now. Basically, he was embarrassed that his parents cannot afford to travel to the wedding. And they came up with this lie. Basically, your sister was just sticking by his side. I also can see the uncomfortable situation she was in because of this. I'm not saying this was okay whatsoever. I'm just saying, in the long run, you're gonna regret you didn't go to their wedding. My guess is when his family said they couldn't go, he panicked and worried people who asked why they weren't there. And he would either have to say they couldn't afford it or he couldn't afford to pay for them. And look past his trauma/experience is not for me to judge. But if that were the case, it just makes me more mad that they both didn't plan ahead and talk to friends/family about what they could afford before booking Dubai. If it was such a deal breaker for his family to be there, they should have factored in the cost of paying for all parents to attend, instead of trusting a 3K per person bill at them and expecting them to rock up. You're completely right, but now it's too late to think about what they should have done. If you ask me, I think you should go to the wedding and enjoy yourself. I really hope we're gonna hear back from you what went down in the end. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please subscribe and see you tomorrow.